Year 9, and in this week's learning we're looking at what is the document Laudato Si and why this is so important in the Catholic Church's action against climate change. So in the previous 2 weeks we've looked at the Genesis creation story about how God has given creation to us as a gift. Last week we had a look at the principle of stewardship, that we are guardians of God's creation, and this week we're looking at Laudato Si. And as you can see from the image here, Laudato Si is an encyclical, and an encyclical is a circular or a letter that is written by a pope, the head of the Catholic Church, and sent out to all the followers within it. And on our next slide here, Laudato Si was the first letter encyclical written by Pope Francis. And a main focus for him in writing this letter is that he's inspired by the Holy Spirit by looking out throughout the world and looking at issues that are happening and responding to them. And in particular, in his letter Laudato Si, he focuses on how humanity's relationship with the earth is broken and how we need to repair it. And Laudato Si is called Care for Our Common Home. Now, within this letter that Pope Francis writes, there's key elements and themes. And on the screen here, I've got the big themes that come through. So these are the key words, is looking at God, world, environment, and humanity. One of the really key things that Francis tries to tell us through his encyclical Laudato Si is that often as humans we think that we are separate from nature and that we don't need to rely on it. But what he's saying is that we're actually part of nature and we're connected, and that we are one, and that God has created this for us to be guardians and stewards of. But currently what we're doing is abusing our environment and taking from it, which is why we're seeing some of the challenges such as the country of Kiribati, where they're seeing higher floods and rising sea levels, and also why we're seeing warmer temperatures, larger floods or cooler winters, and poor air quality as well. This is one of the final quotes that I'm going to leave you guys with, is that within this document, Francis talks about how ultimately we as humanity rely on creation for survival, and so we have a really important interest to actually care and support for it. So this week we're going to be digging a little bit deeper into this document Laudato Si and working on 2 really cool activities where you can apply some of the understanding that Francis gives us.